Waheguru, Satnam, blessings. It is a real pleasure. I am frankly getting quite a kick out of the number of messages that I'm getting, goodwill messages, and also encouraging me to continue with this. I'm glad that some of you are getting some benefit out of listening to me of the book. Once again, the book is Sikhing Success and Happiness, and I've had the honor of writing this book. Even I read it sometimes. So, Jamila, I hope it doesn't drop.
No.
Right. So we are now on chapter 5 of the book today, and the chapter 5 is about happiness. It is more about mundane, day-to-day happiness rather than the more sort of spiritual aspects of it. So I think it will be easy, light reading, and hopefully there are some tips you can pick up from this. I am stalling a little because there are one or two organizations which have asked that they want to link on as soon as the link comes on through SikhNet. One is the Baha'i community of Melbourne who want to listen to this. A lot of them have the book, but they like to hear me reading it. So I'm very humbled by that. I'm also starting to dress more like Vaisakhi because, like Easter, Vaisakhi is on the same weekend. We have Jewish Passover, I think, on the same weekend.
And Vasak, Buddhist Vasak.
I'm not sure about Buddhist. No, I'm not sure about Buddhist Vasak. But I'm sure I'll be corrected by others who will tell me whether I'm right or wrong. So for us, Vaisakhi is the most prominent day on the Sikh calendar. It is either the 13th or the 14th of April. I think we formalized it to the 14th. So my birthday falls on the 13th of April. So I have decided that my birthday also now is going to start falling on the 14th of April. I mean, if the greatest day of the Sikh calendar can be moved, so can my birthday. So my birthday is on 14th of April, and I'm starting to celebrate from today. For Christians, of course, Good Friday today, and we know that story. But anyway, chapter 5, Happy-ness. Happiness is an elusive emotion. To be happy, one must also experience sadness in its basic hedonistic sense. Putting it another way, happiness is the absence of sadness. The absence of both happiness and sadness is a state of spiritual equipoise called Sahaj Anand, infinite ongoing bliss. That will be the subject of another chapter. Happiness has also been described as being synonymous with pleasure, joy, exhilaration, bliss, delight, enjoyment, satisfaction, achievement, and also contentment. This kind of happiness is temporary. A child's delight in getting a new toy and tiring of it soon after and wanting another. Some believe that they find happiness in going partying nightly or at least once or twice a week. Some think they find it in consuming alcohol and taking drugs, going on a high. These are temporary modes of gratification and not truly happiness. We need to recognize that fallacy very quickly in life. Differentiate between temporary enjoyment and a state of happiness. Let us aim for a loftier, more permanent form of ongoing happiness. As mentioned in the start of this book, happiness can start right now for you if you allow it. It is the frame of mind. It is the journey, not a distant destination. The process starts now. Not only think happy, but start feeling happy. A happy face, put on a happy face. As I normally say at the start of any of these readings, first of all, relax yourself. and put a smile on your face. Clear the furrows from your forehead. Relax and breathe deeply. Just enjoy these moments. So put on a happy face. Relax the muscles in your face and feel a sense of well-being right now. Smile. You want happy to be your natural state. Whatever has changed till now is the way it was meant to be. Or whatever has happened till now is the way it was meant to be. Constant regret of what happened in the past or worrying about the future does not bring a happy present state. Do not wait for happiness into the future. If you want to be happy, start now. First, put a stop to regrets from the past. Start working on shaping your future with excitement and enthusiastic anticipation. And future of happiness starts now. Happiness comes with doing the right thing by those around you, by yourself, and being of service to others. Aju kach bigreo nahi, jo prabh gun gaave. This is from the Guru Granth Sahib, page 726. Aju kach bigreo nahi, jo prabh gun gaave. There is nothing to regret if you turn Godward right now. Again, Godward simply means doing good, become selfless, and start living in acceptance of the will of God. Hukam, and be happy. All right. The first subsection is vocation happiness, your work happiness. Fulfillment plays a very important part in being happy. Firstly, fulfillment comes with work satisfaction called kirt karni. Quality of work, honesty in what we do to earn a living, satisfaction at the end of a good day of work all play a very important part in one being happy. If the work we do is just a means of making money and does not have a sense of fulfillment, it affects our overall happiness. No doubt, tremendous gratification and even fulfillment as wealth flows in. Yet when one reaches a plateau or all basic materialistic wants are satisfied, dissatisfaction still sets in because we have not taught ourselves or close ones what genuine happiness is or how one attains it. If you find that your hunger for material wealth does not subside at a certain point, you are in trouble of doing nothing else the rest of your life but pursue wealth. That truly would be a life wasted. Remember, greed, selfishness, exploitation, and most importantly, becoming a slave to wealth and the quest of acquiring more of it is all short-term gratification, but are all pointers towards long-term discontent, lack of fulfillment, and therefore unhappiness. So to be able to say when one has had enough of wealth, basic needs, and then switching to activities which give personal satisfaction, especially through service of some form to others, is all important. Until that point is reached, happiness has to be sought elsewhere, temporarily. And the period of time one spends in such a vocation must be kept as short as is possible. The unhappiest people are those whose vocation is not fulfilling. I used to be an accountant, and over the 15 years that I was in this vocation, I felt my spirit waning. It did give me the means for material comfort, including a roof over my head, food on the table, clothes, vehicles to be mobile, education for my children, and holidays. But I was not happy in this vocation. I had to reluctantly drag myself to work. I'm sure there are accountants who just love their work and find a sense of fulfillment in their vocation. But my being found it a soul-destroying job. I had to get out. Get out of a vocation which we were not happy in. First and foremost, being your lot, your fate, your karma. Keep on doing your job, but start looking around, not only for another job, but a complete change in direction. More importantly, reach your inner self through meditation and visualization as to what you really desire to do. Is there a course of study you can take part-time, which is more in line with what you desire as a vocation? The chapter on visualization, chapter 9, is very important for you. Let Vaheguru lead you in the right direction. Or as it is cool to say in today's non-religious terms, put your aspirations out there and let the universe help you. I became disillusioned with my life as an accountant. This is about when I started seriously doing mindful Simran, meditation, and visualization, looking for my life direction. I gravitated towards a course in management, and from there I moved into a part-time university course in management in Aboriginal affairs. Vaheguru, the all-pervading energy around us, led me to study Aboriginal culture and way of life, and perhaps a means of moving away from accountancy. There was also the possibility of working in the growing Aboriginal management sector. Once I had the will of moving away from being an accountant, I was guided back to my roots, towards my core Sikh music, but this time with a world music fusion element. As if by magic, some wonderful non-Sikh musicians came my way. I now find happiness in performing with my group and traveling the world. I enjoy doing these workshops in self-improvement. I enjoy inspiring Sikh youth and audiences, non-Sikhs and Sikh congregations worldwide with my brand of music and perhaps my upbeat thoughts about my life philosophy, and I enjoy writing anything that spreads happiness. I have been guided towards my true calling. I was also being acknowledged for what I was now doing, and certainly not a 9-to-5 job. This reminds me of a saying of the late legendary Indian writer, Khushwant Singh. Either do something worth writing about or write something worth reading. Built trait in human beings that self-worth plays a great part in achieving happiness. To work or to be of service to your fellow human beings and creation in general, the physical manifestation of Vaheguru brings about self-worth and happiness. The best example that I can offer of always believing that you are master of your destiny is that of Nelson. In 27 years of imprisonment, he never stopped believing that he was the master of his destiny, not his jailers. Quote, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. This is in a poem called Invictus by William Henley. Let me repeat. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Nelson Mandela ended up becoming the first colored president of an apartheid-free South Africa. You are only concerned about finding happiness in your vocation. It is within your grasp. You are the master of your destiny. Do not allow the notion of karma or a defeatist, resigned attitude from stopping you to strive for bettering yourself. Subsection: happiness in giving and selfless service. We call it seva. The second sense of fulfillment comes from giving. Vandashakana or seva. There is an innate sense of satisfaction and fulfillment inbuilt in human beings to help others. An accident takes place on the road, and invariably there will be those on the scene whose first instinct is to stop and assist in any way they can. This trait can become suppressed with the relentless pursuit of greed and I first mentality. Quote from Benti Chaupai, which are the quatrains of supplication of the 10th Sikh master Guru Gobind Singh. Sevak Sikh Sabha Kartara. One part of the phrase only, of the whole sentence, just one phrase. Sevak Sikh Sabha Kartara. May all seekers of truth first be servants of God. Even ancient teachers of divinity chose their students on two disciplines. They had to prove their selflessness and love for humanity. Service is the rent we pay for the space we occupy on this planet and the spiritual bounty that we attain from it in this human life form. It is therefore important in the pursuit of happiness to look for ways and means to give. It could be a simple act of mowing the lawn for the old lady next door. Some opportunities of giving come our way from time to time, and it is important to grab those opportunities. In fact, the most satisfying vocation is one where one serves humanity or helps to improve human life in some way. My daughter, oldest daughter, has found a novel way of teaching her children the joy of giving. The Christian practice of giving loved ones and other Christmas gifts is an endearing one. She has encouraged her children to go and look for gifts from various sources like supermarkets and banks and other businesses, gift wrap them, and deliver them to children of newly arrived refugees from other countries. My grandchildren have found the joy of giving. Ultimately, the best gift is the one that is given. It is also heartwarming to note that companies, especially supermarkets and banks in our suburbs, are happily generous in what they give when they find out what my grandchildren are up to. They are good people around. Next up, happiness in good health. Not maintaining good health affects happiness. This becomes more obvious as one gets older because one has to fight against the ravages of time over one's physical body. The physical body naturally grows old with time, it gets weaker, and it becomes more prone to disease and ill health. Besides an active sporting life, one needs to consume the right food and drink to lead a healthy life. Quotation from the Guru Granth Sahib, page 16. Baba, ਹੋਰ ਖਾਣਾ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਖੁਆਰ ਜਿਤ ਖਾਦੇ ਤਨ ਪੀੜੀਏ ਮਨ ਮੈਂ ਚਲੇ ਵਿਕਾਰ. My friend, ruinous is the pleasure of edibles, partaking which health is ruined and sin enters the mind. Another quotation, page 554. ਜਿਤ ਪੀਤੇ ਮਤ ਦੂਰ ਹੋਏ ਬਰਲ ਪਵੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ. By drinking which intellect departs, madness enters the mind. Man distinguishes not between what is mine or thine. One moves away from godliness. This is direct reference to the dangers of alcohol and drug abuse. Good health is not to live forever, not to last longer in this lifetime. Good health is necessary so that we are better equipped to house the God within and to be of service to humanity. Looking after health as a means of keeping death at bay for longer defeats the whole purpose of why we really need to be healthy, because we must learn not to fear death, but look upon it as a doorway to the next stage of our spiritual journey. Meanwhile, we want to make our lives as meaningful as possible and productive, as vehicles for service of good. This is genuine fulfillment and happiness, and in the process, to live long, healthy, and active. Next subsection, happiness in peace of mind. Peace of mind brings happiness. Peace of mind comes by leading a truthful and honest life. An honest man, woman sleeps peacefully. Sometimes there are temptations to lie and cheat to get ahead. That might bring temporary or short-lived gain, but a certain downfall in the long run. One stays unhappy with the realization that one had to lie, cheat, or be dishonest to get ahead. Quotation from the Guru Granth Sahib, page 62. Sacho re sabko upar sach achar. This is a quotation very often quoted. Sacho ore sabko upar sach achar. Truth is the highest virtue, but even higher is truthful living. Life is about being good, godlike, about being honest, about being of service to others, about being kind, about being compassionate and helpful. This kind of living attracts goodness, fulfillment, and satisfaction, the harbingers to happiness. Another quotation, page 44. Lakh khushiyan padshahiyan je satgur nadar kare. Lakh khushiyan padshahiyan je satgur nadar kare. Happiness, if the Lord so blesses. His blessings that we have happiness. And blessings only come if you're already heading Godward in your daily life. From the Japji Sahib, the Sikh morning prayer, Man jeete jag jeet. Conquer the mana, basic instincts, and you can conquer the world. Are you in any situation or relationship that affects your peace of mind? Do you have guilt issues which need resolving? Are you suffering depression because you are living in regret and feel that you have wasted your life so far? Are you having a midlife crisis or menopause? Then first identify the problem and also now put the problem out to the elements, the subtle body around you. These elements will guide you towards a solution or send someone to help you. Use the exercise, especially exercise 5 at the end of this chapter, to do this. If all else fails, there is no shame in seeking professional help. Remember, the rest of your life, a new you starts today or when you decide to. Subsection E, happiness in spiritual awareness. In time, as one immerses oneself regularly in some form of meditative practices, which create a greater awareness and gratitude towards the source of all reality, one grows old gracefully and happily heads towards the twilight of one's life, easing one's passage into the hereafter. Let us dwell on the question of enlightenment. Enlightenment is more about liberation from the bondage of the karmic cycle through good conduct, being Godward, and remembering to carry out some form of meditative or prayerful spiritual discipline as nourishment for the spirit. Remember, it is not about appeasing God or gods, but getting in touch with the source of all reality that resides within you. Just like the physical body and the mind need nourishment, so does the spirit. This must be carried out in one's lifetime. Remember, the physical body and mind perishes. The spirit is eternal. So nourishment for the spirit or some form of spiritual discipline helps it to move on its next leg of the spiritual journey. That is why great many human beings go for regular weekly prayer meetings. As a Sikh, I am very fortunate. Our weekly gatherings in Gurdwaras worldwide are about food, some discourse on divinity, and Simran prayer, Kirtan, and some socializing with like-minded beings. The body, food, mind, discourse and social interaction, and spirit, Simran, prayer, Kirtan, are all nourished. The complete being is satisfied. Let me paraphrase. The body needs food. The mind needs discourse and social interaction. And the spirit needs meditation, Simran, prayer, Kirtan. When all that happens, the complete being is satisfied. That is what we get from Gurdwaras. Beni kahe suno re, pagtao marn muk kin pai. Beni kahe suno re, pagtao marn mukt kin pai. Guru Granth Sahib, page 93. This is Bhagat Beni says, listen, O devotee, who has ever attained liberation after a wasted life? By a wasted life, Beni is referring to a life that totally ignores spiritual nourishment or discipline, spiritual discipline of some form. Haume mera meri marmar jamme varo var, gur ke shabde jai mare phir mane na duji var. This is on page 1009. Dying in egotism and self-conceit, one dies and dies again, only to be reincarnated over and over again. But when dies in the word, the Guru's Shabad, then one does not die ever again. Let me read that Gurbani again to you. Haume mera meri, marmar jamme varo var, gur ke shabde je mare, phir mare na duji var. Dying in egotism and self-conceit, one dies and dies again, only to be reincarnated over and over again. But when one dies in the word, the Guru's Shabad, then one does not ever again. This passage stresses on daily remembrance in gratitude of this bounty of human life. Such remembrance brings about humility, destroying egotism and self-conceit. The word, the Guru's Shabad for a Sikh, means the hymn within the Guru Granth Sahib. It is as simple as having a greater continuous awareness of Vaheguru to complete immersion in the Gurbani within the Guru Granth Sahib. Basically, again, it means being and moving Godward. On a daily basis, take time out, say about half an hour at dawn, as part of your waking ablutions, and another half an hour at dusk to get in touch with yourself. Meditate or just do some yoga exercises, but with your mind tuned into the infinite, Vaheguru. Thrust yourself into the present moment mentally and feel the subtle energy flow in and out of you. You will find a tremendous upliftment of your spirit, and happiness will become a part of you. Footnote: some methods of meditation are given elsewhere in this book, but feel free to develop your own. For Sikhs, it is Naam Simran, which is explained in supplementary chapter 3. Subsection F. Family, marriage happiness. One aspect of happiness that is not talked about much is family happiness, and also happiness within married life. Family members and spouses are linked to each other through past karma. Sanjog, Vijog, Doi kar chalave, lekhe ave pag. Page 4 in the Guru Granth Sahib. Union and separation are ordained by his order according to one's karma. You have a responsibility towards each and every one of them, just as they have a responsibility towards you. This karma is played out in one's lifetime, and one needs to be proactive in being of service towards all of them, even if some of your relationships are not very healthy. This is all part of one's dharma in this lifetime. As I explained before, dharma to me simply means our duty in this lifetime. The whole foundation of happiness can and should start within the core family, within brothers, sisters, mother and father, and also grandparents. It is the responsibility of parents to envisage, work out, and execute a plan of action to ensure order, discipline, and procedure within the family to ensure that each family member gets maximum benefit from the family unit. A family base, especially plenty of love, which leads to spiritual elevation, material progress through a good education, and hence to genuine happiness. It is a Western trend, unfortunately, not readily swallowed by youth in the East, that they consider it trendy to move away from the core family as soon as they can to live on their own. Family is considered repressive, uncool. They forego the warmth and love they are missing out in family, and hence the family base, and over generations, this family base becomes a non-entity. Tajay girsat paya banvasi, ek khin manwa tike na tikai. Page 835. तजै गिरसत पया बनवासी एक खिन मनुआ टिके ना टिकाई. Forsaking family life, he wanders in the forest, but his mind does not remain at ease for an instant. This passage, though coming from the Guru Granth Sahib and referring to those who forsake family to look for God in jungles and remoteness, applies equally well to young people who leave family thinking being on one's own is cool. In fact, they bring on mental and spiritual unrest to the mind, the mana, because they lose out on the stability and love of the bosom of family life. We start with marriage, the coming together of two souls to spend a lifetime together. Marriage these days is mostly based on the elusive emotion called love, physical attraction, and some cursory ideas of compatibility, strictly between the couple, as opposed to the traditional method of parents finding a suitable match for their offspring, which also ensured a dual family support for the couple. The onus now falls squarely upon the couple as to how they make their married and family life a success. The couple should, right from the outset, consider what kind of a lifestyle is not only suited for themselves, but the children which, God willing, they are going to have. Besides ensuring that the children get a good education, they should also consider their moral well-being and spiritual education. There is so much of stress on education as we know it today that is solely driven towards materialistic aspirations so that the offspring can get into a job which earns them a living and status, that there is a tendency to neglect spiritual and moral education. Parents play a very important role in the development of their children, which also requires spending plenty of time with them. Parents do have a tendency of trying to compensate for the time they do not and cannot spend with their children because of their relentless pursuit of wealth and material progress. They try to ensure that the children have everything they require materially: the best clothes, best shoes, the best toys, PlayStations, Game Boys, computers, iPods, iPads, mobile phones, money, expensive holidays, and so on. In short, the children are paid in materialistic well-being to compensate for the time that parents should be spending with them. This leads to disharmony and breakdowns within families, as money cannot buy family values, family love, and family happiness. Marriages fall apart and siblings do not get on with each other. Lack of effort and time, and an inbuilt belief that all this is not important compared to the accumulation of wealth, status, and individual freedom, puts a great many of us on the wrong foot right from the start. New generations are growing up with all the material comforts they could ever want, but bereft of spiritual and moral guidance, the cornerstones of personal progress and happiness. The rates of suicides amongst those classes who are well-to-do are just as bad as for those who are in poverty, all due to the absence of love, due to the overriding pursuit of materialism and breakdown of family life. There are some quotes from various people. Alex Haley: in every conceivable manner, the family is linked to our past, bridge to our future. Thomas Jefferson: the happiest moments of my life have been the few which I have passed at home in the bosom of my family. Dalai Lama: on a global level, I pray for a more friendly, more caring, and more understanding human family on this planet. To all who dislike suffering, who cherish lasting happiness, this is my heartfelt appeal. And finally, from the 10th Master of the Sikhs, Guru Gobind Singh: Manas ki jaat sabai ek hai pehchan bo. Recognize the whole of humanity as one family. So how can we have a human family or the whole of humanity being one family when we are allowing basic family values and the whole concept of family togetherness at grassroots level to break down. In the East, parents take full responsibility for the upbringing of a child. In fact, there's a saying, it takes a village to bring up a child. On the other side of the coin, it is the responsibility of the children when they become adults to look after their parents in old age and benefit from their parents' life experiences. In the West, and with the growing pursuit of material progress, children are left to babysitters and daycare centers, and old folks go to old folks' homes. Love suffers, and with love, suffering comes unhappiness. Perhaps the Western trend has now become the norm, but one needs right from the start to address this issue if one genuinely wishes to pursue happiness. Subchapter G, laughter. All the great sages I can think of always had smiling faces, ready to break into laughter. Even today, look at the Dalai Lama. The bald, bespectacled face is always ever ready to break into a smile or laughter. Bring laughter into your life. Bitter rows and arguments can be turned into peals of laughter if you can find the funny side. Remember, laughter is positive energy. Feuds, arguments, and slanging matches are all negative energy. Avoid such negative traits if you can and become one who ushers in the positive energy of laughter in any environment, except perhaps at a funeral. The Irish even have the ability of introducing laughter at funerals. Bless them. In my household, I can safely say that we do not have arguments or rows between my family members. My family members have understood the futility of such negative energy. Potential rows or arguments soon turn into laughter when one of us picks the funny side of the problem. Additions to my family, for example, my sons-in-law, are slowly picking up on this art. Suddenly, arguments and entrenched views of righteousness look rather silly, and over time, arguments are replaced by laughter and joy. Differences can be worked out in a calm, collected manner without slanging matches. Most importantly, we can agree to disagree without becoming disagreeable. A very nice phrase I picked up from a very close friend of mine, another Sikh contemporary writer and thinker, Dya Singh from New York. We can agree to disagree without becoming disagreeable. नानक सतगुर भेटिए पूरी होवे जुगत हसंदियां खेलंदियां पैनंदियां खवंदियां विचे होवे मुक्त. This is on page 522, one of my favorite passages or sentences from the Guru Granth Sahib. Nanak Satgur Petiye. Nanak Satgur Petiye Puri Hove Jugat Hasandiyan Khilandiyan Panandiyan Khavandiyan Viche Hove Mukt. Page 522. O Nanak, meeting the true Guru, one comes to know the way. In laughter, playing, dressing and eating, there is enlightenment. When one decides not to hold too tightly to one's sometimes entrenched views, especially the view that I am right and everyone else is wrong, then one finds that arguments and such negativity falls away and laughter can take its place, leading to a happy environment. In India, there are even organizations where members get together just to have a good hearty laugh. Why don't we all try that sometimes and see the relaxation and sense of well-being that this exercise can exude? Never suppress the child within you, the child who is carefree and always willing to break into laughter. Subsection H, forgive. Learning how to forgive. Forgive others who have wronged you. Also forgive yourself for all that you have done wrong. Do not carry the burden of being unforgiving. You only weigh yourself down. There will always be those who vex your spirit. There will always be those who have and will cause feelings of rancor, and those who you will wish to harm or wish misfortune to fall upon. Such negative traits can be great impediments towards a state of happiness. We need to learn to forgive so that these feelings do not get in the way of our happiness. In the Sikh primordial mantra, the Mool mantra, Nirvair is mentioned. It is incumbent upon a Sikh not to harbor feelings of rancor towards others. Nivan se akhar kavan guna jehba maniya mant. Page 1384. Nivan se akhar kavan guna jehba maniya mant. Humility, forgiveness, and sweetness of tongue are the ingredients of the magic spell. It is also a proven fact that harboring feelings of bitterness, rancor, anger, irritation, and frustration against another are toxic and only affects one's own health. Self-improvement gurus will tell you that even though someone ridicules you, humiliates you, or causes you harm, you are the one who chooses to be so offended, ridiculed, or angry. The appropriate and noblest action to take is to forgive. Once you offer forgiveness, you have solved that problem in your mind satisfactorily, and you can move on with your life. Forgiveness is a powerful tool of closure and healing for a wound which can otherwise fester and affect your happiness. There is a saying that harboring feelings of anger or rancor against someone else is like consuming poison, expecting the offending party to die. Forgiving yourself is related also to those who are Godward. They ask God for forgiveness for their shortcomings. Forgiving is not about forgetting. There is a quote which says, "Forgiving is not forgetting, it is about letting go of the hurt." And in the case of forgiving yourself, to let go of the guilt. The wrong caused to you by another is for the offender to rectify. You have merely rid yourself of the hurt and pain caused to you. But forgiving yourself should not be a replacement for the wrong you have done, because if that wrong can be rectified, then you should do so. Nor should you forget not to repeat it. Though you cannot do anything about the actions of others, you must take responsibility for your own actions. Finally, the flow of this life in human form needs to be aligned with one's spirit, one's dharma, duty in life, one's divine purpose. If all these ingredients are present, then one experiences boundless joy. The Greeks have a unique word to describe this, eudaimonia. It is worth elaborating on this term here, eudaimonia. Eudaimonia means striving towards excellence based on one's unique talents and potential. Eu means good, and daimon means spirit within. Each child is blessed at birth with a personal daimon, embodying the highest possible expression of his or her nature. In today's terms, we can say that it is built into each child's DNA. The daimon is envisioned as a golden figurine but covered by a layer of plaster, the child's baser exterior or human conditioning. One needs to strip away the plaster until the golden figurine, the spirit, is revealed. The effort to know and realize one's most golden self, one's personal potential, is the central concept of eudaimonia, which has also come to include continually taking on new challenges and fulfilling one's sense of purpose in life. This golden spirit is a mirror, but it is covered with dust. That is the human conditioning, the materialistically driven environment and pressure which is brought to bear on each of us from a very young age. Through spiritual meditation, this dust is slowly removed until the clear mirror is revealed. Your true purpose or dharma in life becomes clear. Eudaimonic well-being is much more robust and satisfying than hedonic happiness. information on eudaimonia was gleaned from Encyclopedia Britannica. So how does one strip away the layers of human conditioning or karmic obstacles which hide the true divine purpose of one's life, one's true calling? This can only be discovered by some form of soul searching or meditation and a shift in temperament and attitude. Most human beings go through life not even knowing that they have such a divine purpose. Each exercise previously in this book has been designed to draw you in this direction. If you wish, go back and refresh your memory of each of the exercises already given. Today it's exercise 5. Let's do this again. Slow down your breathing gradually. Plant a smile on your face and drop your shoulders. Relax. Focus on your long breaths. Dwell in this domain for a few minutes. Entirely up to you. I have put down 10 minutes then. So slow down your breathing gradually. Plant a smile on your face and drop your shoulders. Clear the furrows from your head. Have a sense of well-being, of gratitude for the beautiful life that you have. Now, first and foremost, plant your innermost desires and aspirations in your thoughts. Your innermost desires, lofty desires and aspirations within you. Plant them. Alongside that, ask for and ask to be directed towards your true calling in this lifetime. Your aspirations might not be your true calling. Ask for your true calling in this lifetime. Your breathing has slowed down. Draw the mind towards your breathing and then switch to your aspirations. Now close your eyes and continue. This is a very powerful form of visualization. Ask, what are my aspirations? What am I here on this planet in human form? What is my duty? What am I supposed to be doing? I leave this meditation to yourself. Do it after you have gone through this whole chapter. Sit down for 10 minutes and just do that. I'll just close off. There's a note here. This exercise now needs to become a daily routine. Your true calling need not be revealed to you immediately. The elements around you will shepherd you in the right direction. You will be led towards your true calling. You will start serving your true calling even before you realize what it is, because you have subliminally already taken a step in the right direction. Conclusion for this chapter. So far we have looked at some general ideas to head towards happiness. Now let us look at some specific pathways to happiness, the Sikh way. All this chapter was very generalized, but it's worth going through again. Listen to it again or read through it. And then from chapter 6, we'll move on into happiness. There are some Sikh ways of happiness which I will talk about from this point of this book. Thank you. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this as much as I have reading it. And please send in some questions if you wish to. I'd like to wish everyone a very happy Easter, which is coming forward. And I look forward to continuing to read the rest of this book to the best of my ability. And once again, I'm very grateful to Sikh Youth Australia for giving me the opportunity of writing this book, and to sikhnet.com or .net. .com, is it? sikhnet.com for giving us this opportunity of putting this down for posterity so that you can listen to it. this is all being recorded. Thank you very much. Goodbye. God bless you all.